Okay guys, how's it going? Welcome to IC 3D people. Today we're going to make this hover robot slash spaceship cute stylized hovercraft thing that I've conjured up. Um, if you like it, hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. Let's jump into it. Start by going over to the modifiers panel and we're going to hit add modifier subdivision surface, which is going to give us this view. I'm going to hit that up to 2 and then what we're going to do is hit apply so we can start editing the faces. So to do that we hit tab, then I'm going to press 1, which is going to take us to the front view, and I'm just going to zoom in a bit. Now what we can do here is we can press 3 on our keyboard and that will give us the face select. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all of these faces really quickly, and then what I'm going to do is press P. P will give us the separate option, and then we can do it by selection. Now if we hit tab, you'll see that we have 2 separate sections, and the first thing I'm going to do is take this smaller piece we've just made. I'm going to hit G, and then I'm going to just drag that ever so slightly in, maybe to there, and we can start to see the shape forming out. What I'm going to do then is hit this, click on this bigger piece, and I'm going to hit another modifier. So what I'm going to do there is hit solidify, and what that is going to do is just going to give us some thickness to the shape. So you can see here, start to see a little bit of thickness coming around. Not thick enough, so what we're going to do is maybe 0.2, maybe a bit too thick. Let's go 0.1, that might be okay. And we're going to do the same on this one. Solidify. 0.1. Cool. So now if we click on this one, pull it out, we have a bit of thickness to it. And we're just going to put it there, somewhere around there. Okay, so next thing we want to do is start, we probably just want to give this a bit more geometry actually. So let's click on this, and you can hit another subdivision modifier, or you can hit Control 3. And what all that'll do is give you, you just automatically add the subdivision, and then you can see here the levels of subdivisions. So probably 2 again, because we've already got 1 level of subdivision on it, so another 2 should be fine. And then we can do the same one here, so Control 2, and now you can start to see that shape really starting to come out. Now to what we can do now is click on this one here, click tab, and what I would like to do is just stretch this out a bit so it starts to look a bit like that fish spaceship type shape that we had in the thumbnail. So let's do that by clicking on 1, which will give us the vertices, and we can just click on here, here, and here, and these 4 here. And what I'm going to do is hit G and just start to stretch it out a bit. It's not looking very good. So what we're going to do is hit 1, and that'll give us the vertices. So what we can do now is just select all these, and you can do that by holding shift, and that will give you all those. You can probably just select the faces as well, and then you can hit G and start to pull it out. So you don't want to pull it out too far out there, it probably gets too stretched. I like to use those lines as a guide, so as soon as they are in with, so these lines here, you can see when I start pulling them out, see it starts to go beyond them. I kind of like to use, see how we can't see the line anymore, I kind of like to use that as a guide. So just pull that back in, and now we can see him again, see him on that side as well, and then that's probably a good indication to stop. So then what we'll do is click off that, and I'm just going to click on this one now, and I'm just going to pull that out a little bit as well. And we start to see we've got our shape coming there. So this is a bit too round for me, so I'm going to do is just flatten the bottom a little bit. So let's go here, and what we're going to do is kind of the same thing. Like that. Just going to pull it up just a touch. There we go. And that looks a bit better now. Cool. So if we go back into object mode by pressing tab, what we can do is now click on this bigger piece. I'm going to right click and go shade smooth, and that'll make it nice and smooth. And I'm going to do the same to this this face place here. Shade smooth. Okay, so now we're getting quite a nice smooth looking shape. And I'm quite happy with that. But what I want to do is add some detail to this. So to add those extra details, what we want to do is first select this big part here, and what I want to do is hit tab, and what I want to do really is just select the cursor to here. So I've already got it here. That's because my mic turned off and I've had to re-record this. Is go to mesh, snap, and then go to cursor to selected. So whatever you have selected, your cursor will go to it. So if I hit 1 to have vertices selected and click that, then go to mesh, snap, and cursor to selected. It's going to move my cursor over there, but I actually want it over here. So let's just control. You can't control Z. No, you can't. So let's go back to control. Okay, no. Let's go there and go to mesh, snap, cursor to selected. Okay, that was a long way. Now what I want to do is hit tab to get out of edit mode, back in object mode, and I want to go shift A to add a mesh and add a cube. Now I want to press S to scale it all the way down, and then I just want to zoom in a bit. And the next thing I'm going to do is actually I'm just going to hide this, and I'm going to hide that. And I am going to take this box, and I'm going to scale it out on the Y a little bit, something like that. Scale it on the Z. And then I'm going to press Control 4. Again, Control 4 will give us the subdivision and apply 4 divisions of level automatically. On the render we also went for, so let's click that up. And what we can do then is go to tab mode, and what we want to do is kind of make a fin out of this. So if we go Control R, what we can do now is just to, if we select one of the edges, I'm going to select this one and just flatten it out like so. And then I'm going to do the same for the others, for this side over here. So Control R, and then flatten it out over there so we can start to see the shape forming. And what I also want to do is have like a bit of a slope here. So I want to have the slope down. So the way we can achieve that is by pressing 2, and that'll give us the edge select. So I hit the edge, and then Control B, which is the bevel, and that's going to push that down something like that, which is good. Okay, and then we can hit tab and apply. Okay, so let's right click on that and go to shade smooth, and it's pretty smooth. Yeah, okay, so I'm okay with that. So now we've done that, we can go back into tab, and now we have all these edges to select from. So what I'm going to do is hit none of these keys because none of them seem to give me the one on the view I want. And I'm just going to turn it around instead. Then I'm going to hit hold on selection up here and go to select circle, and this will just let me easily select what I want. So hold shift while you do this and go over to faces. So press 3 to go over faces, and what we're going to do is just create just a little bit of detail. Not going to go too crazy, but I'm just going to select these, zoom in a bit more. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to go back over here and go back to the select tool. And I'm just going to unselect those ones by holding shift just to get the area I want. Oh, there's two over here I've missed. Okay. So now we've done that, I am going to hit E to extrude, and I'm just going to push that in something like that. That seems okay. And that just creates a little bit of detail, nothing too crazy. And then there we go, we have one fin. So what I'm going to do now is just go back into object mode. I'm going to hit the eyes on this to bring it back, and we can see there that it's created a nice little fin, and it's starting to give a little bit of detail to this fish spaceship thing. I don't know what it is. And what I might do actually is just click on here, hit G. I think I want the bottom detail. So let's just push that up ever so slightly. That. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so now the next thing I do is I want to basically do the same thing, but over here. So instead of redoing that, what we've just done, I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to press Control C, Control V, and then that's made a duplicate, and I'm going to bring it over, and I'm going to press 1 to get a front view. I'm going to line that up in the center, and I'm just going to go over to the Property tab here and go to Rotation on the R, and I'm going to hit 270. And what I should be doing is actually having the right one selected. 270. Wrong axis. Wrong way. There we go. So 90 degrees down that way. Press 1 again, and then I'm just going to press G and bring that in to something that looks kind of good. Right there. Cool, but what I think I want to do is make this just a little bit bigger on the fins on the side. Yeah, so I'm going to click this one, hit S to scale, and I'm going to push it out that way a bit, and I'm going to push on the Z axis a bit just to make it a bit thicker, like that. Cool. Hit G, and we're just going to pull this out again. Do we see some of that detail? There we go. Maybe just a touch more. There we go. And that looks good to me. Yep. Okay, so we want this on to be on the other side now. So to do that, what I'm going to do is hit, click on this one here. And to get it across to the other side, I am going to go to the modifiers tab again, and I'm going to click on mirror. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this little eye drop to mirror on an object, and this is the object I want to mirror on. And there we go, it's already done it automatically on the x-axis, and it's pushed it over there. So now we have our little fish shape here. And just to give it to some character, all I'm going to do now is give it some eyes. Now, the way I'm going to do that is kind of similar to the way I did these ones. I'm going to cheat a little. I'm going to select here, because this already has the curvature that I need, or pretty much. And then I'm going to go and hit Control C, Control V. I'm going to pull it out, and then I'm going to start to scale this. So I'm going to scale it down this way, keep going this way. What's going on there? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to actually move. So the issues I'm having is because this cursor is not onto this object. So I'm going to hit this object, hit object, and go to set origin, origin to geometry. Try that again. Origin to geometry. Okay, that's better. Now I can go scale. Gonna move it out a little bit that way. And I'm gonna scale again, just so we get a bit of thickness there. Scale it down again until we get like a kind of like an eye shape. I kind of like that. I'm gonna hit G so I can move it. Hit 1 to line it up. Eyes probably around there. Yeah, that's alright. Maybe gonna make this a bit bigger still. So I'm gonna G, Z, hit 1, G, gonna move this in. R to rotate. G, R, G, okay. I'm just gonna rotate this one more time around the Y, just to line that up a little better. Okay, so now we have some eyes. I'm gonna press G again because I think that needs to go just a touch more that way. Of course, that's ruined it. So let's go R. Let's actually just go G. Pull that out on the Y a bit. There we go. 1. Okay, so that looks almost. There we go. Cool. I'm happy with that. Same thing as we did before. Click on this, hit add modifier, mirror on this object here. And there we go. Now we have some eyes. And that's it for the modeling part. The next thing we want to do is probably have a go look and do some shading. So I'll see you in that next part. Okay, so over in the shading tab here, what we're going to do is just apply some really basic materials to this this kind of stylized fish spaceship cute thing that we've created. And so what we're going to do here is set up some material. So I've gone ahead and I've done that. In case you're wondering how, all I've done is gone here to material, and I've gone to click new material, and that'll create a material, and I've renamed it. So you can rename this to whatever you want. So like plane, or eyes, or if you had a nose, you could call it nose, and then you could apply it that way. But we'll just leave that and ignore that one for now because I've already set up the ones we need. So let's go over to the eyes first. So I thought we'll kind of make this a blue and white scheme, and we can click that to eyes. So I've gone over here, and I've literally just kept that standard set. And one thing is that you can't see is that I've set up a be helpful if I went over to rendered view. So that will show us our rendered view, and that'll give us the eyes. The next thing is the face here, and we can click on face, so that'll give us the face. And basically to achieve this effect, again, all I've done is taken the metallic slider, and I've just brought it down a touch down to here, and the roughness I've also brought it down. So if you take the roughness all the way down, you're going to start seeing very crisp reflections. But I don't like that. I just want it to be kind of just a little bit, so just kind of about there somewhere, just so it blurs out a bit, but you can still see kind of like a metal gleam to it, kind of like a visor type of thing. And then on the body, well, I've already got selected, but it's body, and I've done the same sort of thing. So brought down the metallic, brought up the metallic down to around about here, and the roughness I've just brought it down. Don't want to make it too rough, but something like that is quite good, and I quite like that. And then on the fins, what I want to do is apply the fins, which again, very similar. For this one, I've brought up the metallic quite a lot, and the roughness is around about the same, so around about down there somewhere. And obviously I've selected the blue color. So what I'm going to do there is also select this one here and apply the same fin material. The other thing now is you can do is add to get these nice reflections. So with to get the reflection showing as is, I've added in a HDRI. So the way you do that is you go over to here, click object, click on here where it says object and hit world. And what you want to do is add a HDR in here. So the way you do that is, and I'm going to turn this off. So without the HDRI, and we've just got the light, you can see the effect that it has. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to go Shift A, and go Texture, Environment Texture. And I'm just going to link that to that, and then I'm just going to go Open. So what you can do now is you can download a HDRI. HDRI Haven's a pretty good one in there. So I'm just going to go to my HDRIs, and I'm going to click on this white street one, and that is going to give us back to the effect that we had before. And that's it for the HDRI, and that will give us some better reflections. So let's go back to object. And the last thing I've done is I've just added in a plane, so I'm just going to switch that on now, and then on the plane I'm going to click it. So if I zoom out a bit, I can see I've just made a really big plane, and I'm just going to click that plane, and I'm going to click I think I've already set up a material, this one here. So when I hit 0 now, we can get that. And the other thing I've done actually is I've set up a light, this one here, and I've just changed that to an area light, put the power up, and I've just angled it so it just gives a bit of a gradient on the background. So when we hit 0 and we zoom in, you can kind of see it goes from light to dark, and it just gives a bit of variation there. And that's it. So we've created a really simple, but yeah, kind of cool looking little spaceship. Kind of, kind of a representation of like a sort of a sea creature or a fish or something. And you could imagine him flying around. Maybe I'll do an animation with him later. So if you really like this stuff, remember to subscribe, hit the like button and the notification. That will really help me out. Currently at around 80 subscribers, and I'm really trying to get to 100. So I really appreciate it if you could click that button. All right, until next time, guys. Take care and take it easy.